Okay, we'll look at some of the homework problems in section 4.1. Alright, like the first problem, we want to find out is 6 divisible by 18? And we answer that as either true or false. In other words, that number has to be a multiple of 18. 6 in this case is not a multiple of 18. Okay, so in this case, that answer would be false. Okay, because 6 divided by 18 won't give us a whole number. Okay. All right, take a look at this second problem. Here we're going to use the divisibility test to answer each of the following questions, like the first one. Can 711 passengers be assigned to 9 flights so that each flight has the same number of passengers? So in other words, we want to find out, is 711 divisible by 9? Well, there is a rule that says a number has to be divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. So if we add 7 plus 1 plus 1, those are the sum of the individual digits in 711, that would be 9. And 9 is divisible by 9, so we can say that we can assign 9 flights for 711 passengers so that each flight will have the same number of passengers. Okay, number 2. The second one, can a parking lot designed to accommodate 4,070 cars be divided into 11 rows? Okay, now that's a tricky rule for the divisibility for 11. And in this case here, we have to take the alternating digits of the power of the even power of 10 minus the alternating digits of the odd powers of 10, like 4 and 7, the first and the third number. Add 4 and 7, you're going to get 11, minus the sum of these two numbers here, the second and the fourth. 0 plus 0, that's 0. Subtract 0 from 11, you'll get 11, which is divisible by 11. So we can say that 4,070 is divisible by 11. So here we can say yes, the parking lot can accommodate 4,070 cars, and it can be divided into 11 equal rows. All right, this next one, can a theater charging $12 per person for admission to a play take in exactly $3,672 for a night's performance? Okay, now we know there's no divisibility rule for 12, but if I break 12 up into, let's say, 4 and 3, there is a divisibility rule for 4, meaning that the last two digits in that number has to be divisible by 4, and for 3, the sum of the individual digits in that number must be divisible by 3. Let's start up with the rule for 4. If I look at the last two numbers in 3,672, which is, of course, 72, divide that by 4, I'm going to get 18, which is divisible by, which tells me that 72 is divisible by 4. Now, let's take the sum of the individual digits, because this will represent the divisibility rule for 3. So if I add the individual digits, 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 7 is 16, plus 2, that's 18. Well, 18 is divisible by 3, so yes, 3,672 is divisible by 12. So a theater can charge $12 per person for admission to a play so that they can take in exactly $3,672 for a night's performance. Okay. All right, now let's look at the next one. This also deals with divisibility rules. Okay, without using a calculator, you want to test 746,998 for divisibility by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All right, what startup is this number divisible by 2? Well, obviously, the last digit is an 8. And 8 is divisible by 2, so the entire number itself is divisible by 2. So we say yes on this one. This number is divisible by 2. What about by 3? If you take the sum of the individual digits in that number, 7 plus 4 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 plus 8, you'll get this 11, 17, 26, 34, 42. 42 is a number that's divisible by 3, so 746,988 is divisible by 3. So that's also yes. Is this number divisible by 4? Well, look at the last two digits in 746,988. That number is 88. And if we divide 88 by 4, you're going to get 22. Okay, so that tells me that 88 is divisible by 4 because I came up with a whole number. So that means that the entire number, 746,988, is divisible by 4. Okay, is this number divisible by 5? The answer is no, because the last digit for 5, the last digit must end in a 0 or a 5. In this case, it ends in 8. So we can say that no, this number is not divisible by 5. Okay. All right, and there is more to this one. All right, is the number divisible by 6? Now we write that number, 746,988. Is it divisible by 6? We found out that it was divisible by 2, and it was divisible by 3. So automatically, this number is divisible by 6. Because the rule says that the number must be divisible by 2 and by 3 in order for it to be divisible by 6. And it does meet those qualifications. So 746,988 is divisible by 6. Is the number divisible by 8? We look at the last three digits, 988, and divide that by 8. And in this case here, if we were to do that, unfortunately it will not be, because we came up with a remainder of 4. So here, no, this would not be divisible by 8. So 746,988 is not divisible by 8. Is the number divisible by 9? Well, earlier we took the sum of these digits, so here it ended up being 42. 42 is not divisible by 9. So this is an example of where a number could be divisible by 3, but not necessarily divisible by 9. So in this case here, this will be no. It's not divisible by 9. Okay. Also, is it divisible by 10? So again, is 746,988 divisible by 10? It has to end in 0 in order for it to be divisible by 10, and it doesn't. It ends in 8. So the answer there will be no. And finally, is the number divisible by 11? Okay, so here's the rule for doing this. If I take the sum of each and every other digit in this number, the 7, the 6, and the 9, 7 plus 6, that's 13. And the 8. 7 plus 6 is 13 plus 8 is 21. Then I'm going to subtract from it the sum of the remaining digits, the 4, the 9, and the 8. 4 plus 9 is 13. 13 plus 8 is 21. And 21 minus 21 is 0. And of course, 0 is divisible by 11 because 0 divided by 11 is 0. So in this case here, that number, 746,988, is divisible by 11. Okay. So that's how we use the divisibility test to test just a single number. Okay, here's some more divisibility test questions. Like this one, number 4. You want to use a divisibility test to determine whether 1,762,313 is divisible by 5. Okay, by 15. 15, I'm going to break 15 up into 3 times 5. And the reason for that is because I know the divisibility rules for 3 and by 5, and the divisibility rule for 5. Okay, for a number to be divisible by 15, it must be divisible by 3 and by 5. Well, I already know for 5, the last digit must be 0 or 5. This number, 1,762,313, ends in 3, which is not divisible by 5. So automatically, this number is not divisible by 15. Okay. So I don't necessarily have to add up the sum of the digits in that number for it to find out if it's divisible by 3. Because by 5 it would not work. Because the last digit does not end in 5 or 0. Okay, the next problem. 4 is a multiple of 28. That means 4 divided by 28 would give me a whole number. Unfortunately, it does not. So that answer there would be false. 4 is not a multiple of 28. However, 28 is a multiple of 4 because I can divide 28 by 4 and get a whole number. But 4 is not a multiple of 28 in this case. And the last one. More divisibility tests to answer each of the following. Can 603 passengers be assigned to 9 flights so that each flight has the same number of passengers? Okay, take the sum of the individual digits. 6 plus 0 plus 3, that will give you 9. 9 is divisible by 9, so yes, 603 passengers can be assigned 9 flights, where each flight will have the same number of passengers. Okay, can a parking lot designed to accommodate 2,521 cars be divided into 11 groups? Take the sum of the first and the third number. 2 plus 2, that's going to be 4. Minus, and also, well, that's going to be 4. And then 5 plus 1, that's 6. If I do 6 minus 4, that's going to give me 2. 2 is not divisible by 11. So we have to say that we cannot accommodate 2,521 cars if that parking lot is divided into 11 equal rows. And can a theater charging $12 per person for admission to a play take in exactly $4,296 for a night's performance? Well, let's break the $12 up into 4 times 3 and check for the divisibility for 4 and for the divisibility for 3. For 4, we look at the last 2 digits. That's 96. Divided by 4, which would give me 24. It gives me a whole number, so we know 4296 is divisible by 4. Now for 3, we take the sum of the individual digits, 4 plus 2 plus 9 plus 6. Well, 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 9 is 15, plus 6 is 21. 21 is divisible by 3, so this number is divisible by both 4 and 3. So we can, a theater can charge $12 per person for admission to a play so that they can take in exactly $4,296 for a night's performance. Okay, so that would conclude this particular homework video, and this should assist you with the homework in section 4.1.